It was not until I reached the age of 59 that I truly grasped the depth of life's experiences I had previously overlooked. That was the year of transformation. When I started to reflect, Grace, what has held you back all these years? What have you decided to set aside? The questions resonated within me, revealing both a reprimand and a moment of clarity. Facing the truth was a challenge, but the revelations awaited, unfolding before me in the most unexpected ways. As I set out to clear the attic of my old house, a place I had intentionally avoided for over a decade, the moment unfolded with a sense of eager expectation. Since the passing of my husband, William, after 35 years together, that space had become a serene refuge for the memories I found too painful to confront. On that day, a sudden wave of determination urged me to confront it directly. The attic revealed itself to me, just as I had remembered, a maze of dusty boxes, forgotten treasures, and a persistent mustiness that tightened around my breath. As I approached the first box, I gently opened it, unveiling a photo album that had been shrouded in mystery for far too long. The very sight of it left me frozen in place. With thoughtful precision, I raised the cover, and the first image captivated my gaze entirely. It originates from my 20s. There I stood, enveloped in the golden embrace of the sun on a flawless beach, a cocktail gently held in one hand, laughter flowing freely as if the world had faded into a distant memory. Clad in a vibrant yellow bikini and oversized sunglasses, I radiated a sense of carefree confidence, as though the weight of the world could not reach me. The sight of youthful, untroubled Grace stirred a deep emotion within me. As I turned the pages, the echo of footsteps danced in my ears. Startled, I turned my gaze to Ethan, my step-grandson, standing in the doorway, a figure caught in a moment of unexpected arrival. 3 long years had passed since I last beheld him, not since he set off for work. At 29. He had evolved from the slender youth I once knew who had blossomed into a self-assured, broad-shouldered figure. Grace, he called, raising a paper bag in one hand and a coffee cup in the other. Ethan, I reply, a blend of astonishment and genuine happiness enveloping me. What brings you to this place? As he wandered past, his gaze fell upon your car parked outside, a relaxed smile playing on his lips. I thought I'd drop in and check on how you're faring. Before I could express my concerns, he moved further into the attic, his eyes scanning the room until they landed on the photo album I clutched tightly. What could that possibly be? He asked, his interest ignited. It's just an old album, I whispered, cradling it tenderly against my heart. As Ethan drew closer, he took hold of the album in silence, his gaze fixated on the photograph of me by the shore. He answered with unwavering confidence. Could this be you? Indeed, I confessed, a nervous chuckle escaping my lips, as Ethan's gaze fell upon the photo, lingering over it for a moment longer than I had anticipated. Wow, he exclaimed, finally meeting my gaze with intensity. Your presence is undeniably striking. It's hard to picture you in any other light. Words slipped through my fingers. His voice resonated with a mix of admiration and awe that warmed my cheeks. As we settled into our seats, and he started to turn the pages with a delicate flick. Each photograph seemed to reveal a part of me that I had long forgotten. In one chapter of my life, I found myself at a vibrant nightclub, draped in a dazzling red dress, while in another scene, I twirled joyfully, barefoot, at a lively rooftop gathering. You were wild, Ethan remarked, his voice tinged with disbelief. The wild years we all traverse, I mused, brushing it off with a casual wave. As I watched him delve into each photograph with such fascination, an unexpected warmth started to blossom within me, a feeling I hadn't known in many years. The conversation flowed effortlessly as we explored the album, sharing laughter over old hairstyles and contemplating the significant transformations life had ushered in for us. Yet, within those shared moments, The air between us began to shift. As Ethan finally closed the album. His gaze lingered on me. "You possess an extraordinary essence, Grace," he whispered softly. "This moment holds a certain magic, as if I am meeting you for the very first time." His words left me utterly speechless. It seemed like an eternity had passed since anyone had looked at me with such intensity or spoken to me with such genuine appreciation. In a moment of uncertainty, I found myself enveloped in silence, believing that my expressions would convey the emotions I found difficult to voice. Ethan reached out, taking my hand with a warmth that enveloped me, steady and comforting. "Grace," he began, his voice gentle and sincere, "your beauty goes beyond the usual. It is nothing short of remarkable." My heart raced as our gazes met. After years of feeling unseen, I finally felt a recognition that went beyond my identity as the widow left behind. I was acknowledged as the woman I once was. That moment changed the course of everything. The days that followed that encounter were filled with a lively spirit within me. Ethan stayed longer than expected, generously lending a hand with the attic cleanup. We dove deep into a vast ocean of boxes, our laughter echoing as we uncovered forgotten treasures and rediscovered pieces of my history I had faded from memory. In those fleeting moments, it was not just static that came alive. I was the one who breathed life into it. One afternoon, as I rummaged through a box of vintage clothes, I stumbled upon an old dress, a striking emerald green adorned with a dramatic neckline and a fitted waist. In my 20s, it occupied a cherished spot in my heart, and coming across it again washed over me with a tide of nostalgia. "You should definitely give it a try," Ethan suggested, his eyes gleaming with excitement. A fleeting moment hung in the air, thick with uncertainty. "Oh, I wonder if it would even fit now. For there exists but a solitary path to discovery," he mused, a smile dancing upon his lips. Moved by his passion, I slipped into the dress. To my surprise, it wrapped around me just right. As I emerged from the hallway, Ethan's expression shifted into an enigmatic facade. "You look absolutely breathtaking," he whispered gently. A warmth surged to my cheeks under his piercing gaze, awakening a flicker of confidence I had been quietly resting for far too long. As the days transformed into weeks, Ethan and I discovered ourselves woven together in a connection that was both comforting and disquieting. An unexplainable force wove our paths together, a bond I could neither define nor ignore. Yet, amidst that captivating charm, there remained a whisper of remorse. As the evening settled into a tranquil hush, I found myself lost in the rhythmic motion of washing dishes in the kitchen when, quite unexpectedly, Ethan appeared behind me. With a gentle touch, he placed his hand upon my shoulder. A quiet moment shared between us. The warmth of his hand sent a shiver racing down my spine. "You're overthinking again," he murmured, his voice gentle, as if he could peer into the depths of my thoughts. "How could I ever hold back?" I reply, my voice barely lifting above a hush. "This is not typical. Who decides what is deemed normal?" He countered with a tale of his own. His words hung in the air, challenging the very fabric of my beliefs. One evening, after Ethan had retired for the night, I found myself alone in the living room, gazing at the photo album he had unearthed once more. The images of my younger self appeared to belong to a different person altogether, a version of me that radiated fearlessness, an unapologetic spirit, and a profound sense of liberation. "Where has she disappeared to?" In a hushed tone, I murmured to myself. The answer was clear and simple. She felt the heavy cloak of countless years draped upon her shoulders, each thread woven with responsibilities, sorrow, and an ever-present whisper of inadequacy. In the aftermath of Ethan's presence kindling a flame within me, I felt the faintest whisper of her return. As time flowed onward, Ethan's visits transformed into a comforting ritual. Yet with each farewell, the weight of his absence bore down on me ever more profoundly. As the sun sank beneath the horizon, bathing the porch in a gentle warmth, he looked at me, his face shifting to a serious demeanor. "Grace," he began, his voice strong but tinged with a delicate vulnerability. I'm at a loss for words to convey this without it sounding wrong. But I've never felt this way about anyone else before. My breath caught in my throat. It is indeed complex, he continued. But I cannot pretend that these feelings are anything less than genuine. His honesty struck me like a bolt from the blue. I don't know what to do, I confessed, my voice quivering with uncertainty. Come, let us explore this together, he said with a touch of ease. The journey that awaited was filled with trials and tribulations. We faced examination, doubt within our hearts, and an unceasing flow of questions about the nature of our bond. Yet, amidst everything, one truth remained steadfast. A bond emerged, one that felt both remarkable and unavoidable between us. After years of feeling detached, I encountered a deep sense of energy, a true awakening to life. As I looked into Ethan's eyes, a profound understanding enveloped me. Life is far too brief to let fear hold me back any longer. After that conversation on the porch, I found myself caught in a swirling tempest of feelings. Ethan's words lingered in my mind, weaving a tapestry of anticipation and unease through my quiet moments. The idea of pursuing anything beyond our connection felt both out of reach and fated to be. I felt the weight of the whispers that would soon emerge, the inevitable gaze of scrutiny that would follow in their wake. The whispers of the neighbors danced in my ears, accompanied by the sharp, the discontent of those who share your blood. William's family, especially, would never truly understand the circumstances. They would see it as a deep betrayal of his memory. Yet, William had been away for over a decade. Was it really so foolish to pursue happiness again? One day, as Ethan and I sifted through a box of old letters, I discovered a letter that William had written to me before he departed from this world. It was tucked away in an envelope marked, "To Grace, when you need it most." My hands trembled with anticipation as I broke the seal. Ethan, fully cognizant of the gravity of the moment, nestled into a contemplative silence beside me. In his neat, familiar handwriting, William's words appeared to rise above the confines of time. If you're reading these words, it means I am no longer by your side. It is essential to grasp that the truest joy I have ever known blossomed from my love for you. Still, life moves forward, even in the absence of one of us. It is a treasure meant to be savored fully and without regret. Should you ever find yourself drawn to another, someone whose laughter echoes the joy of our shared moments or mirrors within you lies a beauty and vibrancy that deserves to be embraced fully and adored. Embrace the journey of life for the two of us. As I neared the end, tears streamed down my face. Ethan's hand gently placed on my back, his presence grounding me as I absorbed William's final offering, a blessing I had not seen coming, but one that filled a deep need within me. "Are you all right?" Ethan asked gently. I nodded, my voice quivering, convinced that this is indeed the truth. Yet, the truth was, I discovered myself lost in the labyrinth of my feelings. A moment of pause, gratitude, or perhaps it is simply the weighty expectation of what could be. Despite William's reassurances, the journey ahead was far from simple. Every meeting with Ethan carried a weighty significance, as if the very air around us buzzed with an electric charge. I noticed nuances that had once slipped by me, the way his eyes crinkled with delight, the deep, warm sound of his laughter, a quiet yet powerful presence he radiated. One evening, as we lingered in the kitchen, crafting dinner together, our hands brushed against one another while we both reached for the same cutting board. The connection deepened beyond necessity, and as our eyes met, a silent comprehension surged between us. I paused for a moment, feeling my heart pound in my chest. "This is complicated," I whispered, as Ethan set the cutting board aside and turned to fully meet my gaze. "It need not be," he observed, "yet it is." I insisted, gripping the edge of the counter for support. "I'm your step-grandmother. This is not the usual tale. Who decides what is considered normal? he replied, echoing his earlier thoughts. I averted my eyes, unable to confront his penetrating gaze. Stories will emerge. They shall render their verdict. So be it, he proclaimed with unwavering certainty. They linger in the shadows, oblivious to the essence of our true selves. They linger in ignorance of the challenges we've endured, of the profound meaning we carry for each other. His unwavering confidence wrapped around me like a warm blanket, yet it also sent shivers down my spine. Before long, murmurs started to weave through the air. A neighbor spotted Ethan leaving my place, returning home late one evening. I immediately spoke about sharing the news. By the next week, whispers had transformed into daring confrontations. One afternoon, as I strolled toward the market, I overheard fragments of a conversation between two women, their voices hushed and filled with intrigue. Can you envision Grace, of all people, alongside her step-grandson? It's completely appalling, the other replied. She should certainly experience a deep sense of shame. Their words cut deep, yet I lifted my chin and walked on, choosing to ignore their presence entirely. Yet, deep inside, I was unraveling. As I made my way back home, I discovered Ethan sitting quietly on the porch, waiting for my arrival. His presence, strong and unwavering, evoked a torrent of feelings within me, bringing tears to the brim of my eyes. Whispers surround us. I breathed, my voice trembling with doubt. Let them, he said, pulling me into a comforting and gentle embrace. They carry no weight. However, it wasn't just unfamiliar faces that voiced their discontent. Upon discovering the news, my daughter, Claire, burst forth with a fervor that was nothing short of extraordinary. How could you, Mama? She exclaimed, pacing my living room with a look of utter disbelief. He seems to belong among us, yet he does not, I argued, working to keep my calm. Not by lineage and certainly not in the way you think. That doesn't make it right, she replied with a cutting edge. What thoughts would father entertain if he were here in this moment? I offered her Williams, a letter, hoping it would shed light on her understanding. She scanned the words quietly, her expression softening slightly, though still shrouded in doubt. Once upon a time, I don't understand, she murmured at last, her voice now barely above a whisper. He is quite a bit younger than you. What could he possibly see in you? Her words cut through me like a sharp blade. Yet I remained steadfast. He sees me, Claire, not just as a widow or an elderly woman, but as someone worthy of love. As the weeks unfolded into months, Ethan and I faced the storm of judgment together, and there were moments when the burden of the weight of the world felt overwhelming, prompting me to ponder if it would be easier to simply walk away. Whenever uncertainty began to creep in, Ethan was there to remind me of the purpose behind our struggle. He ignited a spark within me to reveal the hidden layers of my existence that I had kept buried over the years. We welcomed the enchanting world of dance, a fervor I had tucked away since my 30s. We set forth on a hiking adventure, uncovered delightful dining spots, and even wove plans for a weekend getaway to the coast. After many years, a wave of vitality coursed through me. But it was not just the external changes that carried weight. A metamorphosis was unfolding within me as well. I let go of my worries about what others thought, embracing the idea that my happiness was worth chasing, even if it strayed from the expectations of society. As I tended to my garden, a car gracefully glided into the driveway. To my great surprise, it was Claire. She stepped forward, a tapestry of doubt and determination woven into her expression. Mum, she began, her voice a gentle whisper, softer than it had been in weeks. Shall we embark on a dialogue? I nodded, my hands gliding over the fabric of my apron, as we lingered on the porch, the late afternoon sun wrapping us in a warm, golden embrace. Claire revealed that she had been pondering profoundly on your words about how he perceives. She sensed a newfound clarity in her understanding now. Her words caught me off guard. So much of my existence has been devoted to the unyielding chase of fulfilling others' expectations, she went on, and it has plunged me into a deep well of despair. Yet you hold a remarkable bravery. Mother, in the midst of challenges, you are welcoming joy, and as I reached out my hand to hers, a wave of emotions washed over me. I simply desire your joy as I have shared. Claire nodded, a subtle smile breaking through her otherwise serious demeanor. I'm giving it my best effort, Mom. I genuinely am. As time flowed onward, the whispers began to wane, the chatter softly receding into the background. It was in this quietude that those who truly mattered, me family and closest friends, began to embrace Ethan and me for the essence of who we truly were. One evening, as we lingered on the porch beneath the vast expanse of stars, Ethan turned to me, his expression filled with a weighty seriousness. Grace, he said, taking my hand, you've given me something I never thought I'd find. A home, a purpose, and a love I never knew was possible. A smile graced my lips, my heart brimming with joy. You have breathed new life into my existence, I replied. In that moment, it became clear that our choice was a wise one. Amidst adversity, scrutiny, and doubt, we unearthed something truly extraordinary, an exquisite love that transcended norms and rejuvenated our very souls. As Grace and Ethan journeyed through the complex weave of their unique romance, they revealed a deep truth that resonated with us all. Joy often dwells outside the boundaries set by societal expectations. Their courage to chase after genuine desires, despite facing criticism, serves as a profound testament to love and the path of self-discovery. What is your view on their adventure? Was it a bold declaration of affection, or do you see it in another light? We welcome you to share your reflections in the comments section below. Your thoughts on this touching and contemplative tale would be immensely valued. If this video struck a chord with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the History Minute for more captivating tales, enthralling narratives that spark contemplation, stir feelings, and invite introspection. Engage the ringing chime to guarantee you capture every fleeting instant. Your presence means the world to us, and we eagerly anticipate the chance to engage with you in our next adventure. Chapter